Hey guys, what's going on? Andrew coming at you. Just want to give you my quick thoughts on what happened at the US Capitol. I'm just using my mobile phone and doing a quick video, and if this works out well, I'll do this more and more. So hit that like button if you don't mind if I do something on my mobile phone every once in a while to get more videos out for you guys. So, first of all, looking at everything that happened at the Capitol building, I am not shocked at all. In fact, if you look at my videos that came out over the coming weeks, previous weeks, I was sounding the alarm that I felt that violence was coming based on what Trump was going to do, because I saw Trump denying the results of the election and not backing down, and then I saw the extreme right on causing some violence and mayhem. So I'm gonna give my personal opinions here, and like I don't want to get too conspiracy or whatever because I think that's part of the problem. First of all, everybody's sharing stuff on Facebook like pandemic and all this stuff. You have a little bit of blood on your hands, in my personal opinion. I think all these crazy things that people share on the internet where they don't read the fact, it just says something crazy, they just throw it out there. That leads to this because you get so many crazy people. Now, first of all, I think this event was very well planned. And I say this because I followed two people on my Facebook personally. One was actually at the Capitol riots, but he wasn't inside the building. At least I didn't see that, but he was there. The other person was tweeting before and as the events was going on. And that makes me believe that this group was very active online, such as 4chan, 8chan, and talking about what their plans were. Because the one Facebook friend was writing out, "Today we will make history." And then as they were storming the Capitol, he wrote "revolution," and was really into what was happening. And the other person was at the Capitol event, and as soon as they overtook the Capitol, all these Trump supporters, as soon as that happened, he already started saying over and over again, it was Antifa that did it. It was Antifa that did it. And it was just crazy to me how fast they did something wrong, and then they were already throwing the spin out there that it wasn't them. And the craziest thing is the one guy that was storming the Capitol, but he wasn't storming, sorry, he was protesting, was that he's really religious, and he kept talking about like Jesus protecting him and Trump, and it was just illogical. Like, this has been the same person going to all these anti-mask protests and everything else. It was just, he was speaking like such a crazy person. And that what's crazy is I feel like these super hardcore supporters are really cult people. They're just as crazy as people. They're in a cult and they don't have a lot to lose, and that's just really scary. But I think this was much more organized. Now, this is where I kind of get in my own territory. I don't think it's an accident that the police were not so many that day and that they didn't have high security. I feel like that was planned, and I believe that some elements of the police were in on it. That's what I personally believe. I believe this was a big attempted coup. Now, I've talked to others that say that they believe that it was just straight up government incompetence, but I just got a stinky suspicion based on some of the videos we see of police officers giving selfies. I don't think that that's a big deal, because in that situation, maybe the cop was just trying to keep the peace. He didn't want to stir stuff up. But it looked like a lot of cops were standing down. It looked like a lot of cops didn't know what to do. They were overrun. I'm not trying to judge them on any of that, but I just get the vibe that, a decent chunk of the police that are there are maybe possibly pro-Trump, or maybe it's 30%. And either way, it felt like they allowed that to happen. I just find it to be so strange. But to be fair to Trump supporters, they haven't really been violent up to this point, but I am just mind-boggled this happened. That's why I think after further investigation, we will see that it wasn't an accident. I really believe it was planned from the start. I believe it was a planned coup, and I believe that the intention was to either hold the Congress hostage or do something much worse to the Congress. Believe me, if they would have reached the Capitol walls, I don't think they would have gave them handshakes. I believe that it would have become a very violent event. So there we are there. I hope that the right people get caught for everything else. It was super un-American what happened. So I'm a bit upset about the whole situation. And then finally, what do we do moving forward with all of this is we have to realize that we have a portion of the population, 30 to 40% of people, that either question the results of the election or don't believe that it's real, and they're angry, and they cannot be ignored or called deplorable any longer. They have to be supported in some way, in shape and form, to help them. Their issues have to be listened to, whether we or I or anyone else agrees with them or not. They're not going away. The other thing is that we have to do whatever we can to never get Trump reelected. I don't think he could get reelected anytime soon, due to, I think, him destroying his whole entire legacy really moving forward. Now, him getting banned from Twitter and all social media platforms is interesting as well. I really think Trump incited violence, and I don't know what's worse, that Trump is wants to save face and not look bad, so he's saying he won the election, or he's an evil dictator and just wants to retain power. Either way, I don't think it's good, and I don't want to find out. I'm happy that he can't send any more tweets and incite violence, but will this move to censor Trump be used to censor conservatives across the whole internet? Now, I'm a big free speech guy, and I'm really torn with this one because I think Trump has a right to speak, but I also don't think he should have the right to incite violence. So I'm kind of in a weird place. And if you look at this free speech laws, that's one thing that it says. You have the freedom to say what you want to say, but inciting violence is not one of them that's supported in free speech. But I just think this will be something that'll be overused, such as the Patriot Act after 9/11, and it's something we need to closely watch moving forward. As far as the inauguration goes, I don't believe that this was the last we will see of social unrest in the United States. I believe that we will see a lot of it in the coming weeks, and I believe it's something that will happen afterwards. Now, they were domestic terrorists, and that's what I'm saying. I believe there will be some domestic terrorist, at least threats, moving forward for the coming weeks and months until things calm down, and that the government has to be on their guard. And I will not breathe a sigh of release until after Inauguration Day, because I just don't feel Trump is done just yet. And then the final thing is, if we impeach Trump, I'm not sure that's going to do any good either, because for that group of people, they already see him getting censored, and now if he gets taken out of the White House and it's even worse, that might just rile up the wrong people either way. So, an insane mess, I guess I could have done this video sooner, but an insane mess. But I think the most sad thing about it, or the thing that I find that's just the most hurtful, is that America got to a point where so many people distrust the government, failed politics all over the years, that it really hit a breaking point, which technically we almost lost democracy, even in the short term. And I really hope we can fix that. But to everybody else watching in Sweden and other countries, I think the biggest lesson for you to take away from is that this could happen anywhere. And no, it's not just because we're dumb Americans or whatever, but really it just shows how fragile democracy is, how quick it can leave, because America wasn't at this place, and then it just took 4 to 6 years to be drastically different and take a scary direction, in my personal opinion. I don't think Trump was the worst president ever while he was in office until the end. He maybe had some policies that were good, but he destroyed his whole entire legacy in the end and really showed his true colors and his evilness. And to people that hated Trump from the beginning and were sounding the alarm, like, I apologize, because I thought that the people on the left that were doing it were just being ridiculous. But I think many people really just saw his true colors and were trying to sound the alarm from the very beginning. So yeah, those are my thoughts on everything. I hope you guys like it. Let me know what you guys think. Put your thoughts below. And if you're okay with this video, and okay if I do these every once in a while, then yeah, I will do more videos and talk and just do my phone and do a quick upload to go over what's happening in the world and current events. All right, guys, Hiddle.